Friday Night Heights bring us to a snowy Columbia, Missouri, where the red-hot number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide come to town after a big season-opening win over Kentucky to take on the 14th-ranked Missouri Tigers, coming off a loss against Georgia to start the SEC season. With that, we say hello. Alongside former Tiger Bree Stevens, I'm Nate Gatter. And Bree, certainly Alabama will be feeling very good coming into this meet tonight after the highest season-opening score the Tide have put up since 2014.
Agreed, Nate. What a way to start the season against an SEC team and away, and they're coming out strong on top. What an awesome start. You can't feel any better about that. It's only momentum to move forward and throughout the season.
Trailed going into that final rotation, but Dana Duckworth's team came up with a big score on floor and ended up with the second highest team total in the SEC last week. Meanwhile, Missouri had its lowest meet score since January of 2015. The Tigers will be trying to reestablish some kind of momentum, like you said, Bree, and that's going to start on vault with Sienna Schreiber. Schreiber coming off just a 9.6 vault last Friday night against Georgia. He will be on the all-around for Missouri tonight, along with Amaya Marshall, the freshman.
Looking for a really strong start to this first rotation here from Sienna. She starts with Yurchenko full, slight hop back, really good start. Here's that full again from this side. Really nice form. A little bit of pike in at the end, causing her to take that hop back. But again, over a really nice start for the Tigers on vault.
Here's Alabama's bars lineup, led off by Cam Machado, the true freshman from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Was also going to compete on beams tonight, but was part of a couple of Alabama lineup changes, so this will be her only event this evening.
Just a reminder, we're looking for those handstands in the bar routine. You want it to be 180 degrees. Now they do have a 10-degree squiggle room there to work with before they start getting deductions. Really nice handstand there at the end. Went into a giant full double tuck. And almost a stick, just a little bit of a hop there. Really great start for Alabama on the bars.
Had a 9.825 in her collegiate debut last week. Might have just done even better than that.
And here's that dismount again, nice double tuck. Just about had that stick, but had to take a little hop back.
So here is Belle Gatula on vault for Missouri.
Something you'll see on Belle's vault here, she has really nice amplitude when she comes off that horse, which sets her up for a really nice landing.
Shannon Welker said she didn't compete in vault last week just because she was a little off in the warm-up. He put her in the 6th position and in the end didn't need her, but said we'd see her again tonight, and here she is, the second Tiger.
Now we'll be doing Yurchenko full. There's that amplitude. Takes a step back there. Couldn't control that landing quite like she wanted to. And really nice amplitude you see there. Just couldn't get control at the end.
There is Shannon Welker in his 8th season as Missouri's head coach. Has a younger, thinner team this year than he's had in the past. He'll be grateful to get Alicia Sharametta back. After she was out due to COVID protocols, Missouri in the end only competed 22 routines last week against Georgia. And here is Lexi Graber, one of 2 competing in the all-around tonight for the Tide, along with Shania Adams.
Unfortunate fall there on her Ginger.
And Graber had a fall on bars last week as well.
Looks like it was just right at her fingertips, but she couldn't get those hands over the bar just quite enough to keep a grab on it.
Similarly, last Friday night against Kentucky, Graber's fall came very early in her bar routine, but to her credit, Coach Duckworth talked about perhaps that it was the best bar routine or as good a bar routine as she's seen from her after the fall, which is exactly what you'd want from a senior, able to show that mental toughness and recover to have a strong rest of her routine, and in the end, a really strong meet, finishing out with that 9.925 on floor.
And like you mentioned, Nate, you really want to finish with as strong as you can in the best part or the last part of this routine after a fall. Take as little deductions as you can to maximize that score. Really nice overshoot. She had great control, great form. And finishes here with a dismount. Little chest forward on that landing, causing her to take that small hop forward.
There is Dana Duckworth in her 7th season leading the Crimson Tide, her 25th as a part of the program, an athlete, then an assistant coach, and now leading the way in Tuscaloosa, trying to get the Tide back to the NCAA Finals for the first time since 2017. And now the pressure will be on the rest of Alabama's bars lineup after the fall from Graber. Meanwhile, here is the freshman Amaya Marshall on vault for Missouri, competing in the all-around in just her 2nd meet in college.
We'll see a lot of freshmen and new faces in this Missouri and Alabama meet here tonight. Yurchenko full. Really nice job. She also has really nice amplitude. A little loose in the form, but overall really nice vault. Little leg separation. And she comes in nice, a little pike down on that landing. Near stick. Great job from the freshman.
Missouri has started 9.725 and 9.775 on vault before that one from Marshall. Alabama started with a 9.75 on bars from Cam Machado, but of course will likely want to replace that score from Lexi Graber after her fall. So the pressure on the 4 remaining competitors for the Tide on bars, starting with the sophomore Maddie Waligora.
Maddie starts with an in between the bar mount. Really nice handstand there. Line change into a straddle Jaeger. Straight into an overshoot. Looking to hit that last handstand. And leading up to her dismount here. A full twisting double layout. Small step back, but really great routine coming back after that fall in front of her. Here we'll see that handstand in the beginning. Really nice job. And that level of difficulty in a dismount there is nice to see.
That takes us over to Hannah McCrary on vault. She had a 9.925, a career high on vault against Alabama last year, which gave her the vault title in that meet, tied with Lexi Graber for the Tide.
Really nice Yurchenko full. Hannah is capable of a 1.5, which is a 10.0 start value. Looks like she competed that full tonight. Pretty good amplitude, nice distance. Pikes down a little bit there at the end, forcing her to take that big hop back.
Go back to Alabama on the bars, where we see Luisa Blanco, sophomore from Dallas. And Bree, tell us a little bit of what we're looking for here on bars.
So I touched on it a little bit before, but the big thing is getting those handstands, like I mentioned before, 180 degrees with that wiggle room of 10 degrees. We're looking for releases that are nice and big, and of course you want to catch those releases. And then, as always, we want a nice stick in the landing. Really nice transitions between each bar there. Beautiful handstand. She's really making that effort to get those all the way up. Beautiful routine. Here's that dismount again. Doesn't quite get the stick. A little bit low when she landed there, having to take that hop back.
Here is freshman Jenna Swanson, who will be competing sort of in the all-around tonight. She'll be exhibition on bars and beam, but she'll be here in the vault and then also in Missouri's floor lineup to finish.
Another new face. She has got a lot of potential, and I can expect we'll see a lot from her in the future for Missouri. Jenna did a 1.5. Really nice job. We'll take a look at that landing again. Really nice amplitude, knows where she is. It's a blind landing, makes it a little bit tricky and has to take a little bit step forward.
So here is Shania Adams, freshman from Columbus, the second of those two Tide gymnasts competing in the all-around tonight and coming off that strong bars score last Friday night in her collegiate debut against Kentucky.
Alabama's doing a really nice job handling that pressure from the fall early in the lineup. A lot of difficulty here between the bars in these releases and transitions. And a nice double tuck to finish. Hard to tell, I think she might have got that stick. Couldn't quite see it. Here we'll get to see from this angle, see if she got that stick. Almost. Had to take a slight shuffle back with that right foot. Really nice job.
Meanwhile, back on vault for Missouri, here's Adelaida Hoofendick, and she's following Jenna Swanson, who right now has the vault lead at 9.875. So this is just bonus for Missouri now, with a chance to potentially replace a 9.725.
A little bit short in that landing there. Really nice effort. Looks like she just didn't have quite the greatest block getting off that horse, which didn't set her up for a good landing on the back half, but good experience.
And now Alabama will finish on bars with Makari Doggett, the co-SEC Specialist of the Week from last weekend, turned in a 9.925 on beam in her collegiate debut. I should say a 9.9 on beam in her collegiate debut. And that was after an Alabama fall. The pressure is on her again this week after Lexi Graber went down early.
Really nice release into a transition combo there. A lot of difficulty. Looking for a strong finish. Nice handstand. And a double layout with a stick. What an excellent finish to that bar rotation. See, she has there's that beautiful handstand again. And she does a really nice double layout. Great lift, sees the landing, nails it.
That was a freshman and a sophomore, Shania Adams and Makari Doggett, back-to-back with big performances for Alabama, trying to replace a 9.225 for Lexi Graber. She was the second Tide competitor on bars and had an early fall for the second straight week to open the season. But Makari Doggett, an All-American on the uneven bars last year as a freshman. A strong routine there. We're waiting on her score. And meanwhile, we'll get a chance to see Emily Gaskins on exhibition here for the Tide on bars, junior from Coral Springs, Florida.
Exhibition spots, really nice to get a chance to get those athletes in that didn't make the lineup, but get that experience under their belt. Great handstand work so far. Leading up to a dismount. Double layout with a nice stick. Here she is again, winding up for that double layout. Sees the landing. we'll give a stick to her.
Alabama, after the fall from Graber early in rotation one, gets a 9.925 from Makari Doggett, and the Tide are up after one rotation. Here in Como, we get a look at the SEC teams in the preseason poll. All 8 in the SEC ranked in the top 16, and all have since moved up. Alabama number 4 and Missouri number 14 coming into this week. And after one rotation here at the Hearn Center, Alabama trailed early and was maybe in a little bit of trouble after the fall by Lexi Graber, but big scores from Shania Adams and especially Makari Doggett to give the Tide the lead. But first, Bree, let's look at the strongest vault for Missouri from freshman Jenna Swanson.
Jenna did a really nice 1.5, did a great job finding that landing. Great difficulty.
And Alabama, just when they were in trouble, Shania Adams came through with a 9.85, and then Makari Doggett a 9.925.
What a beautiful routine. You see that release with that amplitude. And sticks the landing.
See why she was an All-American in uneven bars last year as a freshman. Next up, Alabama will be on vault, and that means we'll get a chance to see Shalyn Olson, a Canadian Olympian at the Rio Olympics in 2016. And then at the World Championships in 2018, a silver medalist. She finished only behind Simone Biles of the United States. And of course, Bree, not very often that we get a chance to see a collegiate gymnast with that kind of pedigree internationally.
That's right, Nate. I mean, I just can't imagine being able to have that caliber of college and elite. There's a lot to navigate in both of those training regimens, and she does a fantastic job, and we'll get to see that, a little bit of that difficulty today.
Olson coming up 4th in Alabama's vault lineup after the break. Alabama with a 1/10 of a point lead after the first rotation, and there is the vault lineup. Quinn will be followed by Adams, Walagora, the Olympian Olson we highlighted, then Blanco and Graber. And Bree, this is a chance to see some higher difficulty vaults probably coming up here from the Tide.
That's right, Nate. So just a reminder of what we're looking for on vault. Start value. So you'll see in Alabama's lineup, they have a little bit more difficulty with that start value starting at 10.0. Missouri had more 9.95 start values, so we'll have that difficulty there. We're also looking for that amplitude, which we touched on in the first rotation. And like always, that stuck landing is the goal.
Here's Kaylee Quinn.
Nice Yuchenko full. A little pike down on the end, but overall really good start to Alabama's vault rotation. Take a look at that landing one more time. You'll see her hips just pike ever so slightly, not allowing her to get that stick there.
Meanwhile, Missouri will start on bars. The Tigers struggled on vault last week against Georgia, and not a bad score to start tonight. And they were much stronger on bars to open the season, and Adelina Hoofendick there in the center for Missouri will start it off. A local kid out of Rockbridge High School on the south side of Columbia. Pretty cool to get a chance to compete for her hometown school. Alabama has one as well. And Sania Mitchell, a Tuscaloosa girl, I would imagine that's extra special for them, Bree, especially somebody like Hoofendick getting her chance to compete now in her hometown for Mizzou in a home meet for the first time in her career.
I can only imagine the support and the love that you would feel competing in somewhere that you grew up watching. Unfortunately, I didn't get to experience that, but I can only imagine how, heartwarming and cool that would feel to be in that position.
Didn't get to compete last year as a freshman, recovering from an ankle injury. Started on bars with a 9.725 last week against Georgia, and here's her first routine in her hometown as a collegiate gymnast.
Really nice handstand to start her bar routine here. Straddle Jaeger. Doing a really nice job hitting those handstands so far. She's really nailing those handstands. Giant full straight into a double tuck. And a near stick. You can see that excitement on her face, competing again for the first time, in her hometown. Really great handstand work. She really attacked all of those. Here's that giant full again into her dismount. She would want to finish that giant full a little bit more on top of the bar, but she made it work.
You can see that emotion for her, finishing up on bars to start for Missouri, and here is Shania Adams, her vault for Alabama.
Really nice. Yurchenko 1.5. I think I'm going to call that a stick. We'll get another chance to see that ending here. Beautiful form, height. Maybe a little bit of a shuffle. But again, that blind landing makes it very challenging to get that stick. Again, that's a 10-0 start value.
Here's Chelsea Christensen, senior from South Dakota, had that strong 9.85 on bars last week, and her first competition here tonight.
Missouri's really focusing on those handstands this season. Going to an overshoot here. Nice form. Chelsea will also do a giant full straight into a double tuck. Really nice job. Had to take a small hop on the landing, but a great start to this bar rotation for the Tigers. Here's that double tuck again. Looking for that landing. Just couldn't quite absorb it quite like she wanted to.
9.725 for Hoofendick to start on bars for Missouri. Alabama so far on vault has gone 9.75 from Quinn and 9.925 from Adams. It's a new high on her young career. And here is Maddie Waligora, who had the 9.85 last week.
Also, Yurchenko 1.5 didn't have quite the control like we saw in the last vault, but really nice hips throughout. You'll see here, nice flat hips all the way through. Again, there's that blind landing. Just has to take a little shuffle to the side.
Waligora didn't get to compete last year because of an ankle surgery. And Coach Duckworth was really excited for the performance she put in her Alabama debut last week. And a good vault for her through the half of Alabama's vault lineup. And here is Holland Patrick back on bars for Missouri.
Great handstand to begin the routine. And a fall on her straddle Jaeger. Trying to shake off those nerves. Again, going back to Graber's routine. You want to finish as strong as you can the rest of the routine. Good handstand to finish. And she'll go into a double layout. And takes a hop back on that landing. And she barely got those fingertips to the bar, just a little far out to catch that release, unfortunately. And finishing with that double layout. Pike down just a little too much coming into that landing, forcing that momentum backwards.
And here is the aforementioned Shalyn Olson, had the 9.85 last week, and we'll get to see an Olympic quality vaulter here for Alabama.
We talked about that difficulty earlier. Shalyn is capable of a double, so we'll see if she competes that tonight. She was warming it up. And she does the Yurchenko full. Takes a small step, hop forward. Was a little bit under-rotated here. You'll see. A little soft on the block. Just didn't quite get the amplitude she wanted off. Even a little short on that landing.
Olson only got to Tuscaloosa on December 26th. She had to quarantine for a week after that. So Coach Duckworth said they're just balancing, trying to build her back up to be ready. And that's why they've done the full, both these first two meets rather than the double. But certainly she's capable of it, and the Tide will work up to that. Back on bars for Missouri, Amaya Marshall, the freshman, had the 9.8 last week and came through with a 9.825 on vault to start her all around in her first home meet as a collegiate gymnast.
Really nice release straight into that overshoot. You don't see that connection all that often. Typically there's a break between those skills there. and has to take a kind of big step there on that landing, but really nice job coming back after a fall. She gets really nice amplitude in these releases. You'll see she comes way above that bar, directly into that overshoot. And you'll even see that height on her dismount too. Really nice job. Does her best to control, just can't quite get to where she wants to in getting that stick.
Here's Luisa Blanco coming off a career high 9.725 on bars. And now the sophomore goes on vault.
Does Yurchenko full. Has a little difficulty there on the landing. Couldn't quite sink in. Here's another look at it. Really nice hips throughout, just can't quite get to that nice landing position that she was hoping for.
Got some strong scores so far on vault for Alabama. Olsen, by the way, got a 9.775 after career highs for Adams and Wally Gora. And here is Elisa Sharametta getting her first competitive chance in 2021 after she was out last week due to COVID protocols. Certainly Coach Welker and Missouri very thankful to have her back.
It's never easy to deal with. Someone being out of the lineup, COVID unfortunately making it a little more challenging these days. And she is a mainstay in a couple of lineups here for Missouri. A bit of a unique dismount for her. And a stick. Really nice job. Here's her release again. Nice straddle Jaeger, good height. You see that blind. And then she does a twist in the dismount, which is not something you usually see. We do a lot more double flipping with a twist or just double flipping.
9.7 for Luisa Blanco. That's the lowest score on vault so far for Alabama. Lexi Graber will try to make sure that the Tide can replace that as she anchors them here in the second rotation.
Lexi will do a 1.5. Does it with ease. I think she's pretty satisfied with that one. She gets really great distance on this vault too. Really nice form throughout. Finds that landing. Almost has too much power, has to take a little hop at the end. But really clean. Nice job for Alabama.
She had to bounce back from that fall on bars last week and did it well. Looks like she's going to have to do it again, but that's a good first performance for her post-fall to get the mojo back for the Alabama senior. And here is the anchor on bars, Sienna Schreiber, her first bar routine this year.
So far nailing that first part of her bar routine. Great handstand. Getting worked up for her double layout dismount here. And just a near stick, just a tiny hop there. Really great job in that anchor position. Here's that double layout again. Nice open hips, sees the landing. Everyone getting excited in the background there for her.
So that will allow Missouri to replace the 9.075 from Holland Patrick after her fall, something they'll be thankful to do. And good performances from Marshall, Sharametta, and Schreiber after the fall with the pressure up on them. There will be one more to perform for Missouri, Jenna Swanson, and actually Macy Orozco also scheduled to go on exhibition here for Mizzou. Meanwhile, for Alabama, Lexi Graber, a 9.925, matching Shania Adams for the highest vault score for the meet tonight. And a strong vault score for Alabama, 49.25. And they will extend this lead almost 3 more tenths of a point.
Next on the bar for Missouri, Jenna Swanson.
Jenna again here. We saw her on the vault. Really nice pack. And a little too much juice on that handstand. Sometimes you can be too aggressive when you're trying to attack those handstands and you just overdo it a little bit, can't gain control, get it back within your realm, and unfortunately leads to a fall over.
Another exhibition coming up for Missouri. Macy Orozco, the Alabama transfer, will get a chance. Jenna Swanson, true freshman, comes to Missouri from Glendive, Montana. Population of only about 5,000 people. And considered the smallest television market in the United States by Nielsen, market 210. And I guess rather than Orozco, we're going to see Swanson a second time.
What a fantastic finish. Unfortunate fall on that handstand towards the end, but she had a great stick there.
So before we get to Macy Orozco, I want to remind you about our full day of men's basketball tomorrow on the SEC Network, starting at 1 Eastern, noon Central, and it'll be highlighted by this matchup coming up at 5 Central, 6 Eastern time Saturday night, when Vanderbilt travels to Knoxville to take on number 10 Tennessee, winners of 6 in a row and 8 of the last 9 in that series in the Volunteer State. Like everything else, you can also stream it live on the ESPN app. So now to finish up Missouri's exhibition on bars, Macy Orozco, the Alabama transfer, didn't get a chance to compete for the Tide last year, in competition anyway, and now we'll get a chance, at least on exhibition, in front of her former teammates.
Another great way for these gymnasts to, like I touched on before, really gain that experience and push the other athletes in the lineup, you know, to do their best. But this is a great opportunity for them to get that experience, get those jitters out, feel comfortable in that competition spot. She has a really nice ray here. An unfortunate miss. Really nice job from Missouri. They were able to not count that fall there from Holland. So they did a good job handling that pressure of the fall.
Finished strong as well. After that, the scores actually improved after the fall. So that will do it for Macy Orozco, the couple of Missouri exhibitions, and that will take us to the midway point tonight through a couple of rotations. Alabama with the lead. Missouri on bars, where the Tigers really miss the SEC Specialist of the Year from last season, Helen Hu, who tore her ACL during the black and gold practice for Mizzou back in December, averaged a 9.93 last year for Mizzou, and certainly that's a big loss, Bree, for the Tigers, especially relatively shortly before the season.
That's right, Nate. An unfortunate loss. Such a talented and beautiful gymnast. She was a sensation in the gymnastics community, but Coach Welker is really, really proud of the role she's transitioned to and being that support and becoming a leader during this time of injury.
And hope that maybe it'll just make them stronger. He said she was really quick right after the surgery to say, hey, this means I get a 5th year, right? And he said, absolutely. You bet it does. Alabama, we talked about last week, needing the big scores on floor in the final rotation to come back and beat Kentucky. The Tide absolutely got them, in large part because of Alexi Graber with a 9.925 to finish it for Alabama. And Bree, certainly Alabama will be looking for more of the same from her tonight.
Great difficulty from Lexi. We'll see that here tonight, and you can see that in these highlights here.
We won't get a chance to see Griffin James. She was pulled from the floor lineup after warm-up, but what a great moment this was at Coleman Coliseum. Less than a year after James tore her Achilles on this very floor, she came back to compete against Kentucky, came through with a career-high 9.9, and at the end, Bree, you could see what it meant to her and to her teammates.
And you'll just see the emotion that overcomes her, the feeling of getting back after that injury. That's a tough one to come back from, and all that support from her team there.
Unfortunately for her, the emotion of the moment meant that she forgot to salute the judges, so what would have been a career-high 9.9 was instead downgraded to a 9.8, but a fantastic return for her nonetheless. And Sania Mitchell, a junior, local girl from Tuscaloosa in her Alabama debut, came through with a 9.85, so there were lots of emotional victories and then a real victory as well for Alabama. Get a chance to see Lexi Graber on the floor coming up, and then the Missouri Beam lineup anchored by Sienna Schreiber. After the first two rotations, and now Missouri will go on Beam. Get a chance to look at the lineup for eighth-year head coach Shannon Welker, starting with Hannah McCrary. And Sydney Schaefer, Elisa Sharametta back this week, along with the freshman Amaya Marshall, Belga Tula, and then, as we mentioned, go to break, Sienna Schreiber will anchor it for Missouri. And the Beam, Bree, was a struggle for Mizzou last week against Georgia when the Tigers had to count a fall.
Unfortunately, they were missing a few pieces. Elisa back in that lineup, I think that'll really help. And then, really getting those experienced athletes back in the lineup will contribute to their success tonight. Starts with the front toss, slight bobble. And set up for her series, back handspring layout, step out. Another little balance check. Maybe feeling those nerves here in that leadoff position. Consistency and confidence is really crucial for this leadoff spot. You set the tone for that lineup. Split jump right into. Nice ring jump there. She will do a gainer pike off the end. Really nice stick. Overall good start, few balance checks throughout. Here's that handspring layout step out again. You'll see that arm, she just can't get control over there. Bring it straight over the top. And a really nice finish on that gainer pike dismount.
On the floor for Alabama, Emily.
Meanwhile, Alabama now going to the floor, starting with Emily Gaskins, who we saw an exhibition on the bars to start.
Starts off with a double pike. Great control. One of the things we look for in floor routines is the nice artistry in choreography. Certainly a place to have a little fun. Really nice switch ring. Great lead combination. Punch front there into a double tuck. Looks like she went a little out of bounds there at the end of that tumbling pass, which will be a deduction at the end of the routine. Here's that spot again where she goes out. Just a little bit off to the side there. Can't gain control of the landing. You can see she gets her feet out of bounds there. And there are her teammates doing that routine along with her. That's the fun part of practicing with each other. You get to know each other's routines and can practically do the whole routine on the sideline.
Back on Beam, here's Sydney Schaefer, the freshman from Andover, Kansas for Missouri.
Nice unique mount onto the beam. Three-part series, backhand spring, step out, backhand spring, step out, layout, step out. Really nice control. There's a front aerial here. Looks like she was just a little off on her alignment there. Switch leap straight into a split jump. One of the required connections includes leaps and jumps. And she'll finish here. Round off 1.5. Really great job aside from that slight bobble after that front aerial. Here's that three-part series again. Nice difficulty. Nearly flawless, and really great control on this round off 1.5 too. Itty bitty hop.
Missouri started with a 9.65 from Hannah McCrary, so a good routine from Sydney Schaefer to reestablish some momentum. Alabama started with a 9.725 from Emily Gastons. Now we'll see the Tuscaloosa native Sania Mitchell. Collins by Clawfer, Olsen, Adams, and Graber. It was Mitchell who made her Alabama debut with a 9.85 on floor last week.
Really nice double pike to open up. Would have liked to see just a little bit more control on that front foot, but really great power and height. You can see her really getting into her routine there. There's another punch front. Through to a double tuck. Really great finish there. Another great routine for Alabama on the floor. Here's that last pass again, that punch front through to that double tuck. Great control. Really nice finish.
It was something of an inauspicious start for Alabama with Lexi Graber fell on bars, just the second Tide gymnast to compete. But it seems like since then, Alabama has been virtually flawless. And that keeps the pressure on Missouri back for Elisa Sharametta, her first beam routine of 2021.
Elisa is a beautiful beam worker. She has really great lines and really clean form. You'll see that here. She'll do her series connection, back handspring layout, step out. Nice jump series there. You also see she has really nice presentation and dance on the beam as well. Really nice front aerial. Great control on that end. And great control on that front toss as well. Sometimes one of the hardest skills is that full turn there, but she nailed it. She's getting geared up for that dismount here. Another gainer pike, near stick, little hop forward. Really nice clean routine from Elisa. Here's that full turn again. You want to make sure that heel stays up, almost drops just a little bit. But again, really nice control out of it. Here's that dismount to finish off. Really great routine.
Second-year Tiger transferred in after spending her freshman season at UIC, alma mater of head coach Shannon Welker. Back on floor for Alabama, and here is Alonza Clawford.
Does a double tuck to open up her floor routine. Really nice height on that. Beautiful leap series there. Round off 1.5, front layout. Getting her teammates involved in that routine again. Taking that last big breath before the last pass. Looking for a strong finish here. She finishes with a double pike. Fantastic control. And a great routine. Here's that double tuck again. Really nice amplitude on that. And a strong finish here with that double pike.
Matched her career high with a 9.85 on floor last Friday night against Kentucky. And another strong routine here tonight. Alabama, or rather Missouri, coming off a 9.85 on beam from Elisa Sharametta, and now the freshman Amaya Marshall.
Looking to continue to build on that momentum of the beam so far. Really nice connection there. Front aerial into a back handspring, back handspring. Nice difficulty. Split jump into a straddle quarter. Front toss right into a beat jump. And a front aerial there. Into her dismount. I believe that was supposed to be a full. Looks like she got a little bit off track on that aerial into the dismount. Here's that unique connection again for her series, that front aerial, right into that double back handspring step out. And here's her dismount. You can see she just quite wasn't square over the top of the beam. Threw off that last piece for her.
And here is Shalyn Olson, substituted into the floor lineup after the warm-up. She took the spot of Griffin James. Can
expect to see some nice difficulty from Shalyn on this event. Full twisting double pike. Great difficulty there to start. Through to a double tuck. A little short on that landing. Overall, really nice routine. Take a look at that landing again. Here she comes through. Just needs a little more oomph to get her through to that, into that double tuck. But nice difficulty throughout.
Little delay from the judges while we wait on a score for Amaya Marshall still, the last beam competitor for Missouri. Gives us a chance to remind you one more time about our full day of men's basketball coverage coming up tomorrow on the SEC Network starting at 1 Eastern, noon Central. And then highlighted by a trip down to the Volunteer State when Vanderbilt visits number 10 Tennessee. The Vols have won the last 6 and 8 of the last 9 against the Commodores. Like everything else, you can watch it streaming live on the ESPN app. Judges still deliberating. This has been a convincing brief from Alabama since that sluggish start. Feels like Adams and Doggett coming through at the end on bars really re-energized Alabama. It put them back in the lead after the first rotation, and they haven't looked back.
It was just that boost of confidence they needed. It's hard to start your first rotation with a fall, but they have not let that phase them. It's pretty clear they've done a really good job bouncing back, and they've been really resilient throughout the rest of this meet so far.
Judges look to have finished up their deliberations. Of course, Alabama with the sky-high expectations always. Since women's gymnastics became an official NCAA sport in 1982, the Tide have been to 33 out of 38 NCAA finals, but they have not been since 2017. 2018 and 2019 was the first time in program history that the Tide went back-to-back years without reaching the finals, and then, of course, they didn't take place last year after the season was shut down in March. So Missouri will be able to continue here on beam. Still don't have a score in for Amaya Marshall, but evidently the judges came to a conclusion. Shalyn Olsen scores in on floor. She got a 9-8. And now Belle Catula will get a chance for Missouri.
Another seasoned Tiger. Belle's another great beam worker. She does a really nice job flowing through that dance in her routine. Also does a triple flight series. An unfortunate fall there. She might have been just a little off in those shoulders. Wasn't over the top of the beam like she hoped to be. Similar to bars, you want to come back, finish that routine really strong. Try to be as confident, eliminate those nerves from falling. Straddle into a straddle half. Had a little bit of a bobble there. You can see those nerves working up into her mindset there. Takes a lot of mental toughness on beam, but finishes with a really nice stick. Here's that triple series again. I would have liked to see a little bit more fight from her. She might have been able to save that, but oftentimes, you know, the athlete knows what's going on up on the beam, and there's only so much room to work with.
Here's Shania Adams coming off that 9.85 on floor last week, the freshman from Columbus in the all-around for Alabama.
open with a nice double pike. Fights for a stick there, doesn't quite get it. Getting ready for her second pass here. Round off 1.5, right into a front layout. Works to go right into that dance afterwards. Getting those final breaths in here for that last pass. She finishes with a nice double tuck. Really nice routine. Here's that. Round off 1.5. Really nice job. You can see there her trying to work into that dance, minimize deductions, and then there's that double tuck to finish.
Her 9.85 on floor last week was her second highest score, going through the all-around in her first collegiate meet, doing it again after she was substituted in on beam for Cam Machado. Back on beam for Missouri, here is Sienna Schreiber. Coach Welker loves her in this anchor role, and the pressure is on her now after the fall.
And Coach Welker talked about how she used to be in that leadoff role, and now she's, coming to the end of the rotation, or the end of the lineup here in that anchor role. And as he mentioned, both require a lot of confidence and consistency, which she has showed. This is new for her. Great difficulty. Back handspring step out, layout step out, layout step out. And she nailed it. You can just see how confident she is working up there. Beautiful connection right into her dismount there. A unique combination, and she nails that routine.
Career high 9.9 last week, and another strong performance tonight from Schreiber.
Fun forward roll dismount there. Add some uniqueness. And here's that triple flight series again, just beautiful. Great form, great amplitude. And quite the combination to get to this gainer full. Almost a stick, chest a little bit forward. Beautiful job.
And here is the Bama anchor on floor, Lexi Graber, coming off the 9.925 last Friday night.
Lexi is so fun to watch on this apparatus. She has great artistry and choreography. Really gets you drawn into that floor routine. Has really nice difficulty in her tumbling as well. Full twisting double tuck, beautiful height, great control. Great work on her leap jump combo there. Her second pass here, punch front, through to a double pike. Lost a little bit of control there. Really nice job from Lexi.
She's been very consistent for Alabama on floor. Her last 12 routines have all been 9.9 or better. Here's
that last pass again. A little bit under-rotated, has to lean forward, does her best to work with that landing there.
She's had a lot of success against Missouri as well. Matched her career high in the all-around against Mizzou a couple of seasons ago. Here is Jenna Swanson, exhibition on bar for, or on beam rather, for Missouri. Talked about her being from Glendive, Montana, town of only about 5,000 people. As a result, she wasn't getting a whole lot of training all the way up through middle school. Her family moved 3.5 hours south to Spearfish, South Dakota for her to train at Spearfish Gymnastics Academy, same academy that produced Missouri senior Chelsea Christensen. And she and her twin sister and her brother, along with her mom, would go down there all week, then to make the 3.5 hour drive back north to see her dad, who stayed in Glendive on the weekends. And that certainly speaks to the level of dedication she had. Shannon Welker talked to us about that, and also about how much potential there is left to unlock for a gymnast who was only training about 6 hours a week, all the way until she was ready to go into high school.
A raw gymnast, as he described her, and you can see she's got a lot of potential. Working on getting those freshman nerves out, building that confidence. But again, I think she'll do great things for Missouri here in the future.
And Missouri had to count the 9.65 on beam. Alabama builds its lead, up by nearly a point. Missouri thankful to get Elisa Sharametta back, and she came through with a 9.825, matching the highest score for Mizzou.
A fantastic routine back here for Elisa. Really nice job. Grabs that stick at the end.
Lexi Graber ties for the vault title. And Sienna Schreiber on beam for Missouri. Grateful to have her anchoring.
Fantastic work on that anchor spot.
9.85 for Schreiber, and then always consistent on floor, Lexi Graber.
Fantastic difficulty as always. Great presentation.
Although this was her lowest score since March 2019, a 9.875 for Graber. First time in her last dozen floor routines. She'd been below a 9.9, but she has had a strong meet since the fall on bars in the first rotation. Makari Doggett helped make up for that for Alabama. And the Tide have extended their lead to 3/4 of a point, getting ready to go to beam and try to finish it out. And that means we'll get a chance to see Makari Doggett coming off a 9.925 anchoring beam for Alabama last week. At the Hearn Center, get a look at the lineup for Alabama on beam. Fourth and final rotation, starting with Alonza Klopfer, then Shania Adams, one of a couple of Alabama all-arounders, along with Lexi Graber tonight, and Makari Doggett, whom we highlighted to be anchored then by Luisa Blanco. Dana Duckworth with high expectations for this team. It's the same kind of expectations that are always there in Tuscaloosa. She said their goal has never wavered. They want to be on the floor the final night of the national championship with the opportunity to win. Said they don't focus on that. A successful week has more to do with attitude, focus, and effort, but that they talk about dreaming big and focusing small. And you can see that team national qualifying score last year was 8th in Division I, which is more where the Tide have been. Finished 12th a couple of years ago, which was their lowest finish since women's gymnastics became an official NCAA sport. Hoping for a bounce back this year, and certainly that highest season opening score since 2014 will do plenty to get hopes up in Tuscaloosa. Alonza Klopfer will start it on beam for Alabama. Coming off a 9.8 last Friday night against Kentucky, has competed on beam for the Tide in every meet since the beginning of her sophomore season back in 2018.
Going through that mental routine there. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of mental toughness that goes into that beam routine. Staying focused, being in the moment, taking it skill by skill, not getting ahead of yourself, letting those nerves take over. Beautiful Wolf turn. That's a lot of difficulty there. You see those more in the elite world rather than college. Really nice front aerial straight into a back handspring step out. Great form. right there, right into a side aerial. You can see that confidence she expressed finishing that aerial there. And working up to the finish of routine. Round off 1.5. Nearly a stick. She takes a little bit of a hop back into that salute.
Got a big cheer, though, from her teammates and Coach Duckworth waiting over there.
Take another look at that wolf turn. A lot of difficulty. It takes a lot of control. Just a little bit off, and you're off the beam. And she does it with ease. Beautiful dismount. Sees the landing. Just a little shuffle there at the end. Great start for Alabama on the beam.
Here is Belle Gatula, who will lead off on floor for Missouri, trying to build off the 9.675 she had last week, which was well below her season average from a year ago.
Belle has a lot of fun with her choreography in this floor routine. Really gets into it. Gives you a sneak peek into Belle's personality. Getting ready for the second pass here. A little bit short on that landing there. Hoping for a strong finish here to make up for that middle pass. She'll finish with a double pike. Quite the start that Missouri was hoping for in floor. Lost a little bit of control on some of the landings, a little bit short in that middle pass.
And here is Shania Adams getting ready to go on the beam for Alabama and get a look at the all-around leaderboard where she is on top, followed by Schreiber, Marshall, and then Lexi Graber, who has been very strong in rotations 2 and 3, but had the fall on bars in the opening rotation for Alabama. Adams trying to build on her 9.775 on beam last Friday night, which was tied for the lowest score of her all-around.
Really nice connection there. Had a leap element. Back handspring step out, layout step out. Showing off that flexibility with that needle kick there. Here's another wolf turn. This time it's a double. So take that difficulty and double it. Switch leap into a beat jump. Getting ready for her dismount, back handspring, step out into 1.5. Beautiful routine. Here's that wolf turn again. Again, does it with ease. And a really nice finish to that routine again. Finishes with that 1.5. A little bit of a hop.
So Adams gets a chance to finish off the all-around, substituted in for Cam Machado, and now on floor, the freshman Jenna Swanson for Mizzou.
Looking for a strong performance in the second spot here. Hope to build that momentum that they need here on this last rotation. Starts with a double pike. A little bit forward on that landing, but great height. Torjete half into a wolf full. Really nice job. Front handspring double full. Really nice difficulty there. She is getting ready for that last pass. Front layout into a Rudy. Really nice job from Jenna. Fantastic routine.
And Missouri will be hoping for a strong score to follow it because for the second straight rotation, the Tigers are likely going to be looking to replace their opening score.
Here's that front layout again, straight into the front 1.5 of Rudy. Great control. Really shows that grace and control at the end to finish that strong routine.
Meanwhile, Alabama has started with a 9.825 and a 9.85 on beam, and here now is Maddie Wally-Gora, and you see the very strong score for her a week ago.
Alabama looking to build that momentum on their beam rotation so far. They're showing a lot of confidence in these routines. Handspring step out into layout step out. Looks like she was just a little off there. An unfortunate fall for Maddie. Nice side aerial. Great control there at the end. Split jump into a tuck full. Oh, and then another unfortunate fall there. See if she can finish here with this stick, round off 1.5. Just about had it. Had to take a little step to the side there. Here's that series again. Looks like she was just not square over the top of that beam. Didn't look like she was able to save that. And here, she probably dropped that shoulder, leading her to that unfortunate second fall there.
Back to floor for Missouri, Sienna Schreiber, who's been very strong in the last two rotations and had her career-high 9.9 on floor against Alabama last year.
Another fun routine here to watch for the Tigers. Sienna gained a lot of experience from her freshman year. Consistent in the lineups, which certainly helps this year. Starts with a double pike, unfortunately loses control, a little over-rotated. And they'll take some deductions for going out of bounds there. Rudy right into a back layout, step out. finish the routine after opening with a little bit of a stumble here. You'll see again. Just can't find that landing there at the end. A little too far piked under. Has to go out of bounds.
Here's Lexi Graber now with some pressure on her first beam routine this season and the remaining 3 for the Crimson Tide, needing to replace the 2 falls by Waligora, which lowered her score to an 8.4.
Lexi bounced back from that first fall. So looking to continue that momentum and confidence through this routine. Back handspring step out into a double down of the layout. You can see the focus in her eyes as she's working throughout this routine. Really owning each of these skills that she's going through. And another unfortunate fall for Alabama. Really nice combination there, cat leap into the front toss to the one leg. And a really nice finish with the Gainer full stick. Here's that leap series again. Really nice switch leap. And that straddle 3/4. Just couldn't gain control, a little bit off on that takeoff. Really nice combination and control. Out of that front toss, it's difficult to go on that one leg.
So depending on the deductions, though, for Lexi Graber after the fall, Alabama might have opened a door here for Missouri, even though Sienna Schreiber going out of bounds ended up with a 9.55. So at best, Mizzou will have to count a 9.625. But either way, both teams dealing with significant deductions on this 4th rotation. And here now is Elisa Sharametta.
Lisa will start with a nice front double. A little bit squatty on that landing. Didn't quite have the height she was looking for. Nice popa to a straddle full. Or a straddle full to a popa. Really nice front handspring Rudy right into that layout step out. Showing off that flexibility and artistry. Looking for a really nice strong finish. Round off 1.5 into a front layout step out. Beautiful floor routine. This is a really nice combination. That front Rudy right into that back layout step out. Beautiful height. Allows her to show off that nice form, a beautiful toe point she has. And finishing into that front layout step out of the round off 1.5.
On the beam for the Tide, Makari Doggett.
See that beam score for Lexi Graber at 9.175. Right now that will count because it is higher than the 8.4 for Maddie Waligora, who had 2 falls in her routine. But Makari Doggett has thrived on the beam under pressure for Alabama.
Looking for another really solid performance like she showed in bars. Back handspring step out, layout step out. Pretty big balance check there. She managed to save it. Feeling a little worked up from that fall before her. Finish here with a side aerial into a full. Near stick.
Could be big for Alabama that she was able to work hard enough to keep herself up on the beam there on the near fall.
Again, nice side aerial. Could have had a little bit more control. She lost it in the top part of her body there. A good bounce back from that big wobble in the first part of their team.
And Elisa Sharametta had a 9.8 on floor for Missouri. All of a sudden, after they've trailed the whole way, the 14th ranked Tigers are putting a serious scare into Alabama with 2 gymnasts left to compete for Mizzou on floor. Amaya Marshall had a 9.8 last Friday night in her collegiate debut on floor.
See a lot of power from Amaya in her floor tumbling. You get a glimpse of that here in that first pass. Punch front through to a double pike. Beautiful control on that landing. Nice switch running, Georgia Tay half. Round off 1.5 to a front pike, it looked like. Missouri can use a really strong finish here in this last pass from Amaya. She'll finish with a double tuck. Beautiful job. She ought to feel good about that routine. Here's that really nice, strong finish again. She had great control on that first and second pass. Or first and last, excuse me.
Back to the beam for Alabama, where Luisa Blanco in her first beam routine this year, sophomore from Dallas, is under big pressure.
Not only does she have the pressure of being in the anchor spot to begin with, but having the fall zip ahead of her makes it even more challenging. Getting ready for her series here. Back handspring, step out, layout, step out. Ever so slight balance check there. She was able to maintain it, keep it in control. Really nice balance and flexibility piece there with that scale. Switch leap, right into a switch half. Beautiful combination. Finishes with a round off, double, and a stick.
Huge performance for Alabama.
Just what they needed. Here's her dismount again, really nice clean form. Sees that landing. Throws that head back with confidence.
Should likely be enough for Alabama, replacing the 8.4 to see them through to a win. Hannah McCrary is left on floor for Missouri. A 9.85 last week, and she has a career high 9.925 on floor. Missouri's going to need something like that to have a chance.
Started with the front layout right into a Rudy. Really great control. Finds that landing. Getting ready for that second pass here. Really nice double pike, stuck the landing. You can see how excited she is about her routine so far. Switch side into that Popa there.
Big score from Hannah McCrary. Will it be enough? Luisa Blanco got a 9.875 to finish beam for Alabama. So that score for the Tide is going to go up almost a point and a half. Missouri will be replacing Sienna Schreiber's 9.55 with that score from McCrary. And in the end, it looks like Blanco will probably have been just a little bit too good, but we'll have the final scores coming up after the break. See what McCrary gets and whether it can pull Missouri back close enough. No matter what, a big improvement for the Tigers over their season opening score. Final score is coming up after the break. Back in Columbia, where the 14th ranked Missouri Tigers gave number 4 Alabama all it wanted and more. The Crimson Tide just sneak out after 3 falls on beam, 2-in-1 routine, with a win by 25 thousandths of a point. They led all the way, but in the end, it's a tight victory for the 4th ranked Tide. Nate Gatter, Bree Stevens back with you to wrap it up here in Columbia. Luisa Blanco did just enough with her 9.875 on beam to anchor for Alabama. Basically any more deduction, if she had taken 5 hundredths of a point off, even 0.05 off of Blanco, that would have been enough to cost Alabama this victory. But Blanco was good enough to make up for the 8.4 from Maddie Wallagora and the 9.175 from Lexi Graber. 9.925 to finish on floor for Hannah McCrary, just short of her career high and what Mizzou would have needed to tie. Get a look back at some of the highlights from tonight's match. A couple of all-arounders for Missouri. It was the freshman, Amaya Marshall.
What a fantastic performance from this freshman again. Here's that really nice Yurchenko full she put out for us for Mizzou in the first rotation. Great control. And a huge blur performance. Again, showing that control on those landings.
A 39.2 on all-around for Marshall, but she finished second to a freshman for Alabama, Shania Adams, with a 39.475.
Outstanding performance all night. Beautiful vault. Great power and artistry there on floor. Again, showing that control in her landings. Showing difficulty here in that beam routine with that double wolf turn. Solid performance from the all-arounder.
And in the end, Alabama needed every bit of that bar or beam difficulty that the Tide showed in order to come away with the victory tonight, again by 0.025. Alabama built that lead to 3/4 of a point after the third rotation. And Bree, you said it, what a fantastic performance on floor from Hannah McCrary, anchoring for Missouri. She and Amaya Marshall did a lot to get the Tigers close, but in the end came up just short.
It was almost just what they needed. Alabama was able to pull in that spot, in the anchor spot on beam, and nudge out on top. But man, it was a fun battle there at the end, seeing what could happen.
So for Bree Stevens, I'm Nate Gatter saying so long from Columbia, where the final score once again was Alabama 195-775, Missouri 195-750. Make sure to tune in to SEC Network next Friday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, when the 14th ranked Tigers host number 8 Kentucky. After that, stick around as these 4th ranked Crimson Tide host number 9 Auburn in the second round of 2 editions of Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. This has been a presentation of ESPN.